Hello, my name's Claire Walker and this is the third coaching video in the free coaching video series. So far, I've talked about making sure that you set aside time for coaching and value it, whether you're coaching yourself or receiving coaching from somebody else. In the second video, I talked about finding out what you really want. And before I completely leave the topic of finding out what you want, in this video, I'd like to deal with a problem that's quite common and also easier to solve than you might think. And that is the situation that comes about when, on paper, something looks really good and yet you don't feel that you want it as much as you should, in quotes. Of course, the should is a red flag because it suggests that you're not really wanting something or only wanting something intellectually rather than with your whole heart. However, when something is really good on paper and when it provides lots of benefits that you know other people would like, it can be tough to go with your heart and be sure that something's what you really want. I know that some people who are watching these videos are actually involved in coaching themselves, and so as an aside, if you're coaching someone formally or informally and they come to you and they say, well, yeah, I guess I want such and such an outcome, but they don't seem to feel enthusiastic or to put a lot of energy behind that. This kind of situation might be going on where you've got a solution or an outcome that looks excellent on paper, but somehow the enthusiasm and drive isn't there. If you're in that kind of position yourself and it's your outcome, the telltale sign is likely to be that you feel flat, even though you know that the outcome seems so good on paper. You should be feeling really excited. But go with what you really feel, because what's going on underneath is important. And what's likely to be going on is that although the outcome seems wonderful on paper, actually you're getting a very good payoff, either consciously or unconsciously, from being exactly where you are. And let me give you an example to make that clearer. The classic example of where this situation often turns up is where somebody is offered a job or a promotion that perhaps gives them more money, more status, and has a lot of other people saying, oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? And especially in this kind of economy, that can be very tough for people to turn down or think twice about. However, if that is happening, sometimes for you as the person who's going to actually have to do the job, or the person you're helping, if it's somebody else whose outcome it is, if something is going on in your life which means that actually being where you are is really working for you, then it's quite natural and very healthy for your mind and your psyche to say, hey, hang on a minute, I'm not going to give you the benefit of all that enthusiasm. There are things you haven't looked at. And the way in which it does that is to give you that flat feeling, that feeling of not being sure, not being as enthusiastic as you could be. For example, in the case of somebody offered what seems like a fantastic job, it might be that at the moment they get to spend lots of time with their family, or that they have lots of free time that they enjoy doing exactly as they wish with. And if they were to have the new job, they wouldn't be able to get all that free time or to spend all that time with their family. Those would both be powerful disincentives to actually wanting to take the new job. Of course, there is a solution to this, and that is for a person to work into the outcome that's good on paper all the benefits they've already got. In the example we've taken of somebody who wants to keep spending time with their family, perhaps it would be possible to negotiate working from home as part of the agreement so that they're still at home and still with their family. Or perhaps the person who wants to retain the free time they have could negotiate something whereby they are paid according to their results rather than the amount of time spent. Any number of solutions might be possible once you're aware of the very powerful payoffs that are already keeping you or someone else in place in that situation. There's just one word of warning on this, and that is that whilst someone might cite something like a benefit in terms of family or free time as keeping them from going for an outcome, occasionally, even underneath all of that, the person might actually be feeling a lack of confidence that they can achieve the outcome, or to put it another way, a fear of failing if they were to go for the outcome, and so be citing all sorts of other reasons why they couldn't possibly actually decide upon that outcome. If this is you or somebody that you know, there's a really easy way to tell what's really going on. If you ask the question, would I go for this outcome if I knew I couldn't fail? If I absolutely knew that I would totally succeed at it? And if the answer to that question is yes, if I knew I couldn't fail, I would definitely go for this outcome, then underlying your hesitancy, or the hesitancy of the person you know, is possibly a lack of confidence that you might need or want to explore. If, however, you say, well, whether or not I failed at it, I still feel that it's all these benefits that are keeping me where I am, then it's time to make sure that you can still retain your outcome and retain your existing benefits, or even to select a different outcome if that feels right for you. Either way, it's important to explore any dissonance, any difference between how an outcome looks on paper and how you actually feel, because those feelings are valid, as I hope I've been able to show in this video. Many thanks, and that's the end of this recording. Until next time.